Hello, welcome back to the Gratitude Incarnate podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Rose. So grateful to be here with you today. So I've told you guys this year I worked on setting up a structure for the episodes, having topics planned out. Well, this week I'm kind of just, winging it, and I really just want to bring you an update on what's been going on, kind of like in my work life and my personal life, because I feel like with those structured episodes, I really haven't had the time to connect with you guys like I used to. So first of all, wow, what a year I have been having in such a wonderful way. And I hope you share that feeling with me. I hope you've been feeling that in your own life. I am in my Manifestation Babe era. And if you don't know who Manifestation Babe is, please just pause this podcast. My feelings are not going to be hurt. If you forget to come back, it's going to be fine. We'll see each other if you forget. Go look up Manifestation Babe, okay? Go look her up. Go find her podcast and follow it, because if you love me, you're going to really, really love her, because she is one of the people who has inspired me so much. And I would not be where I am at with this podcast and with my journey if it wasn't for her influence and her teaching. It's helped me so much. And that's why everybody's like, oh, I'm in my such and such era right now. So that's where I'm at. I'm in my Manifestation Babe era right now. If I see something I want, I just attract it, just like that, just like snapping my fingers. And we are going to talk about manifesting and attraction more on next week's episode. So if you're not following the podcast, make sure you hit that little notification bell so you get notified whenever new episodes come out, like next week's episode, because you're not going to want to miss it. So I just have to say, I am really loving life lately. Don't get me wrong, okay, guys? There have been some things that have been happening that have just been like, what in the world? And that's just life, okay? I promise you, your problems, and I don't even like to really call them problems, the issues that you're having are very unique to you, and they're special in that way. But I promise you, everybody is going through some stuff right now, okay? You're not alone. Take comfort in that. That doesn't mean it's any less special or unique to you. Just know that you're not the only one going through some stuff. My tooth chipped I don't know, it's been almost 2 months now. And I've been working on getting this tooth fixed. And it's like every time I go to this dentist, there is an issue. And it's gotten to the point now where I really want to get it done, because I have so many wonderful things coming up, so many wonderful things that I want to do. And having a nice, healthy smile is really important to me. But at the same time, it's I am not going to just go and put my oral health care in the hands of somebody who cannot keep track of what type of appointment we're going to have or how much it's going to cost. I need a dentist who is not only going to be gentle and caring, but also have their business together. It's kind of it's important, So yeah, there was a lot of issues with that dentist office, and things were just not what they said. So I still have this big chip in my front tooth, and I'm just letting it be and working on what's the next step and just taking it one day at a time. So for right now, the next step is just making an appointment with a new dentist. So that's where we're at right now. Like I said, I would love to get this fixed, because I'm about to tell you about some wonderful things that I have going on and some places I'm going. But the important thing is that that doesn't define who I am. Having a chip in my front tooth doesn't define who I am. Even if it stayed like that for the rest of my life, I am still a great person. I still have so much to offer to the world. And I just want to touch on that for a minute because, you've probably been through something similar, or maybe you're going through something right now where just like something happened and, you're struggling with letting it define you. Like, this doesn't define who I am. I am so much more than that. And I know that a time is coming where I am going to get that tooth fixed. So that's just kind of like one of the things that's been going on. But like I said, in the big scale of things, it's just a small thing and it'll get taken care of. And other than that, like, things have been like so great. And I've been having these like full circle, pinch me, full body chills moments like every day. Like, just I find myself crying happy tears and just really feeling this sense of fulfillment. And after I came out of my depression and I started my spiritual journey, I had this like psychic knowing or an intuitive hit that my life was changing. And everything that I had secretly dreamed of was coming my way. And it seemed kind of crazy to everybody. Like, I remember years ago when you guys have to excuse me, I have to rinse out a cup because my cat is trying to get to it. It's a cup it had milk in it. So back on track. Yeah. I knew that all these great things were coming my way, but it was crazy because I really didn't have any idea like what they were or what my purpose was or anything. I knew that gratitude had changed my life drastically, like in such a short period of time. Like, this was it. This was the answer. Embodying gratitude was the key to fulfilling every bit of emptiness I had felt. Gratitude filled it. And I had to tell people. And it's funny because like my whole life, I always felt like I would have some, and I don't even like to say level of fame because there's such like a negative, sort of like idea behind it, like, oh, you're conceited, who do you think you are, sort of thing. But like, really, who cares about that? Like, we've got to let those ideas go. There's nothing wrong with finding your purpose in life and your passion in life and leaning into it fully and loving every freaking minute of it. Okay, there is nothing wrong with that. And if that brings you fame or people start to know who you are because of that, it's really not selfish at all because it's not about you. It's about your message. And really, that's what I've done, and that's more and more people find out about this podcast. More and more people find out about me and my book and all of these things, the more I make it about serving my audience and making it about the message and not about me. So it's really not conceited at all. I feel like a lot of us have these psychic hits and we've been programmed by society to believe that we're just crazy. We're just delusional. We're egotistical. But really, that's not what it is. Really, what it is you're having a vision of your future where you are doing great things for yourself and the world. Okay? And it took me quite a while to get to this. Hindsight, looking back on it and saying, hey, I was meant for this. It is okay for me to step into this. It is okay for me to claim this. And, I packed up everything then And I left my home. I left the lifestyle. I left the relationship. It wasn't easy. It hurt me in a lot of ways. I lost a lot of people in my life that I cared about because they didn't understand how I could do that. They did not understand how could I leave a life of what seemed to be independence, freedom, stability, all the things that so many people in America want. How could I pack up all my stuff and just leave that behind? But it's because I knew that there was something greater, and I knew that staying there, I was too comfortable. Okay, and this is what makes people mad, and I'm about to step up on my soapbox for a second, okay? This is what makes people mad. When they see you doing things outside of your comfort zone, it's going to piss them off. And do you know why? Because they don't want to get out of their comfort zone. But let me tell you something, that's not your problem, okay? That is their issue to deal with. You just focus on you. And that's what I did. I knew there was no way that I was going to grow staying there because I was too comfortable, okay? I had become too comfortable with that lifestyle. It was easy. So easy, plug and play. All I had to do was get up every day, take a look at my schedule, show up where I needed to be, made money. You know, I had all the things that I thought were going to make me feel fulfilled and satisfied. I had them. And it was scary, you guys, because when I got them, I felt nothing. Nothing. Yeah, there was a little temporary happiness. Sure, you get a big paycheck and you feel good for a little bit. You go on the vacation, but when you come home, you realize it's another 6 months till you get that feeling again. You know, I made the decision that I wanted a life that I didn't have to escape from. I wanted a life that felt like a vacation every day when I woke up. And to a lot of people, especially people who stay in their comfort zone, that sounded ridiculous. It sounded delusional. I got told that on a regular basis. You're delusional. I'd have intuitive hit on something. No, you're delusional. Well, let me tell you something. I wasn't delusional. I was right. And I don't need to be right. And I've worked through that this last year especially. You know, I can let that go. The point is, I know I'm not crazy, okay? Because that's what happens. As you go through this spiritual journey, you are going to, I want to affirm for you that you don't have to go through that sort of struggle, okay? But that's just part of the enlightenment process. People are going to think that you're nuts. People are going to think that you're delusional. People are going to say, how can you do this? How can you leave this situation? How can you walk away from this? But you have to. You have to do the things for you, okay? And it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be painful because, you know, for me, the old me was dying and the new me had to stick around and suffer the consequences. But you guys, I'm here to tell you today, this is so important, that when we give up the form, when we give up on how it needs to look and how it needs to be and trying to control every single thing, that is the moment that everything starts coming in. That is what I've been working towards for these last few years. And I could have probably got here a lot sooner if I would have realized this earlier. But the minute that you stop having control over it needs to look like this. It needs to be this person. It needs to be this house. It needs to be this car. It needs to be this, my way, my way, my way. Just know what you want and feel the feeling and be open to receiving it from the universe. And when you do that, everything starts coming in, you guys. And that's where I'm at right now. Everything I wanted, everything I've wanted, truly wanted, is here now or within sight. My book will be out and for sale by the end of this year. I'm going to meet hold on, let me backtrack on that a little bit. if my book, I want to self-publish my book, and that is my goal within the next month. I would love to see it on Amazon, just because it is urgent that this book gets out as soon as possible. However, if my book does get picked up, when my book does get picked up for the book contract, the advance, or however it works out, then that version of the book will take some time. So that one might not be on the shelf by the end of this year. That's just something I've learned, like little side note, something I've learned about the book writing process, if that's something you're interested in, if that's part of why you're following me on this journey. So a lot of people think that being a writer is just, you find like some cool little vibey attic space in a house in Maine, and it's raining, and you look out this little porthole window and you write all day long. That's not what it's all about, okay? There can be days like that, okay? I love when it's raining. I love to go on the front porch and write. It's so inspiring to me just to be around any sort of water. But being a writer and being a published author, like, it's more than just writing, you guys. It's selling your book. It takes a lot, and sometimes it takes a lot of time, especially when you're going through a really great, reputable company like Hay House. Okay, let me rephrase that. When Hay House decides to publish my book, that process. Now, they do have some people's books that they fast tracked, and they can fast track and they can get them out sooner. I believe that I am definitely one of those people. I have the potential to be one of those people. But you're still looking at like 3 months, 6 months. I mean, that's like crazy fast timing in that publishing world. Most of the time it takes like 18 months. So, there's probably going to be different versions of my book that come out over the course of time. So there's just like so many other things going on. I've started working up at the Healing Bar, and to have this support team is so incredible for my journey. Like, just to be around like-minded people who understand where I'm coming from, and like I said, they encourage me constantly. They are so with me on this book journey. And, I have this conference coming up that I'm going to for Hay House. It's called I Can Do It in Phoenix, Arizona. And I just requested the time off of work, and they just approved it. No questions asked, no problem, done. And to me, that means so much. They didn't once come to me like I've experienced at some of my other jobs, be like, oh, Amanda, what are we going to do without you? How, this is a whole week. I don't know. Well, we're going to have to make it work somehow. That wasn't a problem. It's just done. It's just covered and taken care of. And that is such a good feeling to know that I can just jump in the car, drive for a whole day, and go and do something that means so much to me. And when I come back, these people are going to still be here supporting me and holding space for me. That is really magic. It's wonderful. And that's my dog knocking on the door, everybody. So, it's a rainy day here. Dog just shook his wet fur all over me. Need to get back into the video podcast, and then you guys could see some of these things for yourself. So, yeah, I am going to this conference. I am so excited about it. There are going to be so many incredible people there. Colette Baron Reed, Chris Ann. I'm struggling to think of some of the names right now, but there's going to be so many people there. And if you're listening to this right now and you're like, I love Hay House, I need this conference, I need to go, I'll put a link in the show notes so you can go and get tickets for that. I don't know if they're still doing the early bird pricing, but yeah, I did not know how I was going to get there. I had no clue. I just went, and as soon as the funds were available, I purchased my ticket because I did not want to miss out on this. You guys, it's going to be so incredible for my spiritual journey. And I'm so excited to go to Arizona. Like, I have wanted to see the desert in America for so long. Funny little side story. I went and visited my sister who lives in Texas, and I thought that it would be like kind of like a desert out there. And it's not at all. There may be some parts of the state that are more like that, but it wasn't like that where I went. It was actually like, it really looks a lot like South Carolina, just like less pine trees, and bigger potholes. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. It's going to be great. And I know that it's going to change me, who I am as a person, like in such a good way. So really excited about that. So that's that update. Another update, in May, I am going to meet Michaela J. I am so excited. So she's decided to host like a live podcast recording. So I am super excited. It's going to be in Austin. So I've been wanting to move to Austin for like basically since I started my spiritual journey, since all of that started. I actually went out there to Austin at the beginning of my spiritual journey just because I knew that that was where I wanted to eventually end up living. It was kind of like my 5-year plan. And it's really funny now because like not this year, but next year is kind of like that 5th year. And I feel like I am closer to moving there than ever. And there's so many people that I admire who influence me that have already moved out there. Michaela J, Joe Rogan, Melissa Wells. The list goes on and on and on and on of people who I admire, who influence me, who have moved there. And it's funny because the more I talk to people every day, like Instagram friends and stuff like that, people who come into the healing bar, it's like there's so many people who want to move out there too. So it's just like kind of like an affirming sign for me. So I'm really excited. I had already planned on going on a vacation that week anyway, and I wanted to go to Austin before I even knew she was going to be hosting this event, because the contest winner for the Hay House Book Writers Bootcamp book proposal submission contest, that winner is going to be announced May 21st. So this is a little life hack for you. This episode might go 30 minutes plus. I'm surprised. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys like this in so long. Let me get back on track. So that prize winner is going to be announced on May 21st. A little life hack for you guys. When you are, putting yourself out there for something like that, like let's say there's a contest at your job and the person who brings in the most leads wins a vacation at the end of the year. So let's say, the winner's going to be announced the week of Thanksgiving. Well, something you can do to kind of supercharge or boost that manifestation is to do something really, really fun at that time. So that's why I booked this vacation for Austin, because I'm not going to be sitting around like, oh my gosh, I should have put this in my proposal. I should have put that in my proposal. Well, what if I would have said this? What if I would have said that? No, I'm going to be in Austin, in Texas, having fun, like checking out cool little coffee shops and little metaphysical shops and, visiting my friends and hopefully visiting my sister and, meeting my mentor. So that's really going to call in all the positive vibes and positive energy I need to manifest that win, And I don't even really like to say need because it's like a desperate sort of feeling. Like these are just vibes that I want to cultivate that are going to help me win. There we go. That sounds better. Okay. So really excited. To me, meeting Michaela J is really important too because she is someone who I admire and she influences me with this podcast, and I want to go learn sort of from my master. So really excited about that. All right. Let me update you guys on the self-love soiree. So, oh my God, it was just so incredible. Like, that is better than I ever could have imagined it, honestly. When I planned this event out, like 4 years ago, I never thought that it would be on such a grand scale. Like, the whole VIP experience, that wasn't even really something that came into my mind until this event started to take form at the Healing Bar. And the people that showed up were so incredible, so loving, so open to receiving everything that was there for them at that event. And it was just magical. It was so magical. Like everything I dreamed of being a coach, of teaching people such important topics like self-love, to be able to be in that moment was just, just delicious. I don't know how else to describe it. Just like so good. I had stations set up for the ladies, and I would go to check on them, like make sure everything is making sense, and they were so engrossed in the activities that half the time they didn't even know I was there. Or it was like, I was just like, will she just go on somewhere so we can do this? And I love that because I am so happy to know that those ladies really enjoyed what I created for them. So it was really such an honor for me to do that. And I am so grateful for the team at the Healing Bar because they just, wow, they went above and beyond with the snacks, the drinks, the decorations, the swag. Oh my gosh, you guys. I was almost like, I should have bought a ticket for myself just so I could have got a swag box, because it has like a Healing Bar mug with affirmations and bath oil and candles and incense. And oh my gosh, it was totally VIP. We had somebody at the door outside checking tickets, so only VIPs could get in. It was just really, really great. We did some mirror affirmations. We made a self-love potion number 99 tea that was really, really tasty. Think of like a rose marshmallow. That's kind of what it tastes like to me. So, and we wrote love letters to ourselves. And it was just really great, you guys. And then everybody got to have like a special shopping experience with 20% off of pretty much everything in the store. It was just like, I live for that. I could do that once a month for sure. Like, it was just so fun. And the connections with the women was the most magical part of all. Like, two ladies there, they had never met each other before. I teamed them up and they just hit it off, you guys. They were talking to each other like they were just the best friends in the world. Like, it was wonderful. Like, it was so great to know that I had a small part in bringing those two ladies together and offering this connection. And, they can be like self-love buddies now, and check in on each other. And it's just so wonderful. So we do have some more events coming up at the Healing Bar. I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing something really special at the beginning of April. And then again, we have another event worked out. We have to figure out the dates because it's so important, especially like from a sort of like a magical point of view. The dates are so important. And, we are supportive of each other and we all have things going on. So some of my team members have birthdays coming up and events coming up. So, we sort of have to just like schedule around that for everybody. And I love that it can be so collaborative and, like just easy to agree on things. Very grateful for that. So we do have our Teaching Tuesdays up at the Healing Bar. So the Healing Bar came up with these classes. They're free community classes called Teaching Tuesdays. They're from 6 to 8 p.m. every other Tuesday. The next one is going to be March 5th with the in-house herbalist. She's going to be teaching a class on herbalism basics. And then on March 19th, the class with yours truly. If you're local to the area, please come out and support me with these classes. It really means a lot to me. And it really helps just like attract more people from the community into the class when you guys come out and show up and support me. It really just drives home for everybody that that's where they need to be, and it helps them learn. And this one is going to be about EFT tapping. That's emotional freedom technique tapping. Okay. So tapping is essentially, it's non-invasive acupuncture. Okay. So it's like an alternative treatment for pain and emotional distress, okay? And what we're going to be working through, I'm going to lead the class through an EFT tapping session for removing money blocks. So I'm really excited about that. Everybody really seems to be into money manifesting right now, like more than ever. So I figured that would be a really good topic to tap on. So the last thing to update you guys on is I've been doing 75 hard. I'm really, 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 really proud of myself. This is my 4th attempt at 75 hard. I'm not new to this. I've failed before, never made it this far. So that in and of itself really says something to me. I think the farthest I've ever got was day 9, and I was really struggling with that. So since then, I have done a lot of research on diets, and not just diets, but I've tried diets that what works for my body, what makes me feel good, what makes me feel like I'm not being restricted. Because that was a big part of my problem. It was my mindset. Restricting myself and saying, oh, you can't have this, was making me crave it and want it more. So what I did was work to find a diet that really supported this challenge. So I'm doing lacto-ovo vegetarian diet. So what that is basically vegetarian, but you still do have animal byproducts. That's kind of the difference between vegan and a vegetarian. So I still consume eggs, milk, cheese, honey, and things like that, but no meat. Also, part of 75 Hard is drinking a gallon of water a day. You guys, this has been the most challenging. Like, as I tell you the other things in this challenge, you're going to be like, how is that the most challenging? But really it is like day 2 or 3 or something like that. Like, I felt like I was drowning. So if you ever do decide to do this challenge, I'm going to tell you right now, the best thing you can do for yourself, make sure you pace your water intake throughout the day. It's not good for your body to drink more than a liter of water an hour. So be mindful of that. And then also something I can suggest, something that's been helping me, like working at the healing bar and having, like I'm there with the herbs all the time. So I'm getting more and more familiar with different herbs. So what I've been doing is just researching herbs that promote kidney health and help you release excess water. So that's really been helping me out a lot. So after about day 3, I was like, okay, was not anticipating this being as challenging. So what can we do about it? That's when I came up with the plan to start drinking some herbal teas that would help me out. So and another part of 75 Hard is you have to do 2 45-minute workouts, and one of them has to be outside. So what I've been doing is walking for 45 minutes for my outside workout, with the exception of a couple of days. I'm sorry, I'm making myself some water because, like, as I'm talking to you about this, I'm like, I need this. So, yeah, there was a couple of days where it was raining and stuff. Last night, I walked with a group of friends. I got my friends in with me because it was dark and I just had to go walk. The outdoor exercise is just easiest for me when I do the walking. Like, I can commit to that. I can stay into it and stay committed until the 45 minutes is up. The other 45-minute workout you do, it can be inside, and I've been doing yoga, especially HOTWORKS. Like, I haven't made it to HOTWORKS every day. Sometimes I'll just do yoga on the mat at home. But yeah, that's really helped me out a lot. And I feel like that's a really good hack for 75 Hard because you're still getting a great workout, but you also get to incorporate some really great stretches. And when you're working out for 75 days straight, you have got to stretch or you can really risk hurting your body. So this is all part of the research I did. Like, that was a part of why I failed in the past because my body didn't know how to do 2 45-minute workouts in one day. It was just like, go hard, go home, and pass out. And that's what was happening. And I had basically nothing left in my tank for the rest of the days. So 2 45-minute workouts, one outside, follow a diet, drink a gallon of water. You also have to take a progress pic every day, which I'm going to go do when I get off of this podcast recording with you guys. No alcohol and no cheat meals. There's no cheat days. So for me, even though I can still technically have sugar in this diet, it's really important for me that I put away all of the, what I like to call crappy snacks that I like to eat. So like the Oreos, the gummies, just junk really that I was eating before that really wasn't healthy for my body. It may taste good. Like, y'all, I love Cheeto Puffs, but that's not, it wasn't healing my body, and that's what I'm focusing on right now, okay? I'm not the type of person to tell you to deprive yourself of something you love. For me, this is just 75-day challenge for mental toughness, okay? And I know in the past I've used those snacks as like a comfort food, for like when I've had a bad day or something like that. And I don't have to use food to numb my feelings now. I can process my feelings and just enjoy eating foods that I actually enjoy, and not just trying to like stuff feelings down my throat in the form of food. So I really like the diet and everything. No cheat meals, no alcohol. That one's really not so difficult for me. The only alcohol I really ever enjoy drinking is sake at like a Japanese restaurant. So that's not really an issue. And I'm staying out of Japanese restaurants, I think, for this 75 days just because of my intense love for chicken hibachi. So, yeah, the last thing is just read 10 pages of a self-improvement book. And that's also, again, that's pretty easy for me. I love reading, and I feel like most days it's pretty easy for me to work in 10 pages of a book. I'm a pretty fast reader, especially when it's content that I enjoy reading, like self-improvement, self-help, and personal development. So that's where we're at right now. I just passed and completed day 11 yesterday. I am working on day 12 right now. For the most part, I do have a pretty good amount of energy. I will say the mornings can be difficult because I haven't really been consuming as much coffee as normal. I wanted to kind of just cut back on kind of everything I was consuming so much. So, my brain is addicted to all that caffeine. So we're working through that, and I'm loving myself through that. And, just finding some really good, healthy alternatives. Again, shout out to the Healing Bar. They have great tea blends up there. They have one called Brain Boost. It's a really great alternative to coffee because it helps you focus. I'm just a coffee girly and I love it. It tastes good and I like drinking it. But I don't want to be the type of person that feels like they need to drink coffee constantly all day long. So that's why I've kind of cut back on it. So I can just get my body through this process and, not depend on that. So this episode went way longer than I ever anticipated. So if you're still listening at this point, that's awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really grateful to bring you this content. I'm grateful to have this time and this space this week to just bring you guys like a regular old-fashioned type of episode like we used to do, where I just chat and update you guys and go off on little tangents. I've missed that. So thank you for allowing me to do that today. Thank you for being patient with me as life goes on around me with, letting my dog in and dealing with my cat. I really appreciate you guys so much. I do want to remind you really quickly before we go that we do, if you're not in the Facebook group, Gratitude Incarnate, please go over there and join. It doesn't cost anything. You don't have to give us your email or anything like that. It's really simple and easy. And you get a great opportunity to win prizes and stuff for participating in challenges like the one that we have going on right now. And then also, I want to encourage you to subscribe to the podcast. We had a great part 2 episode with Dr. Molly. She came back on. She talked about her book, and it was great. And she gave a super special announcement about something really great happening in her life. And it's really just evidence to me and so many other people of what can happen in your life too. So if you want to know what that is, you're going to have to subscribe. So go over there and check that out. And with all that being said, thank you so much. I love you so much. And I want you to have a grateful day.